At Denning Pharmaceutical headquarters, former employee John enters the building, takes the elevator, and pulls out a gun from his suitcase. On the executive floor, he shoots several top executives before returning to the reception area, where he encounters the police. John states that someone needed to act and then takes his own life. News reports reveal that Denning Pharmaceutical is about to launch a new drug. Despite gaining FDA approval, the drug has caused fatal side effects that have already killed 3 people. As a result, the company faces a major lawsuit and a drop in stock prices. They're trying to destroy all evidence. Attorney Allen decides to take on the case, which could significantly impact his career. He assigns legal assistant Tom to handle the paperwork. Tom needs to update his keycard on Monday since they are reset every weekend. After losing their key witness, John, Tom suggests adding heart attack victims to the case, but Allen refuses, saying minor victims don't make money. Later, Tom is called to discuss the Gambisi crime family case with another boss. Tom had sent a memo expressing his interest in joining this case, but his boss tears up the memo and reprimands him for not focusing on his current cases. Afterward, Tom heads to the file room to store a file that Allen rejected. His girlfriend and co-worker, Anna, stops by, and they share a few secret kisses. A few hours later, Allen announces that due to server issues, everyone can go home. Before Tom can leave, Allen informs him that he made a serious mistake with his earlier memo and fires him. In the elevator, Tom encounters an unfamiliar man. When they reach the reception area, the man leaves a suitcase, which another person picks up. Tom is told to visit another boss, but decides to investigate the suitcase. He finds it suspicious and tries to follow the man, but his keycard has already been reset. Tom tries to leave but notices the stranger waiting outside and becomes worried. He asks the guard to activate the elevator for him. Once he arrives at the office, Tom finds his co-worker Roger at his desk, acting strangely. Tom notices the file he had put away earlier on the desk and grows more suspicious. He starts recording with his phone, hiding it in a pencil holder. Tom continues to investigate and discovers the mysterious man tampering with the power box. When a lawyer approaches the man to check his ID, the man pulls out a gun and kills her. As the killer hides the body, Tom rushes to the bathroom, finds the security guard's body, and climbs on the toilet to hide when the flushing mechanism activates. The killer enters, washes the blood from his face, and talks to the body, saying he needs the keys. Tom sneaks under the stall wall just before the killer takes the keys, gun, and radio. Tom climbs onto the toilet to hide and nearly triggers the flush, but the killer starts his own toilet first and doesn't hear him. The killer destroys the radio and heads to the file room to set up explosives. Tom runs to the break room and finds Roger, telling him about the killer. They try to use the elevator, but it's out of order, so they run to the emergency exit, which is already broken and locked. They're trapped. Returning to the main area, they try to use the reception computer, but the internet is down. Seeing the killer approaching, they hide, but the killer notices the computer's been used and gets suspicious. He disconnects the computer and enters the desk area, showing he has a keycard. Once the killer's out of sight, Tom and Roger leave their hiding spot. Tom takes Roger's keycard and opens the executive offices to see if the killer is Allen. He sends Roger to find his phone and call the police. As Tom activates the lock, his jacket gets stuck in the door. Roger finds his desk and tries to call his wife, but is interrupted by the killer, who forces him to say everything is fine. Tom witnesses this through the window and runs to the break room for a knife. The killer, after Roger hangs up, questions him about other employees. Roger lies, and the killer chokes him with a cable, all recorded by the police. When Tom returns, Roger's desk is empty. He grabs his phone to call 911, but it's dead. After charging it, he finds Roger's body in his chair. The killer returns, sees Tom's jacket at the door, and Tom hides in the closet, where he's startled by the lawyer's body. Meanwhile, the killer drags Roger's body and calls someone, upset that others are still there. Tom's phone finally charges enough to make a call. The killer takes out his phone and chokes Roger, with the incident recorded by the police. He checks the footage, deletes the video of the murder, and finds Tom's name and picture. Realizing Tom owns the jacket, He calls out Tom's name, but Tom hides under a desk. When the killer leaves, Tom moves to another office and tries to start a fire to trigger the alarm, but it doesn't work. He spots someone in a neighboring building and starts a bigger fire in a trash can, pushing it against the curtains to attract attention. The neighbor sees the smoke, but the killer, smelling the burning, uses a fire extinguisher to put out the flames. Tom runs away before the killer can find him, pretending to use the phone to keep the neighbor from calling for help. Tom makes it to reception, creates a new keycard, and hides under a desk when the killer almost finds him. After the killer leaves, Tom resets all the locks, making the killer's card useless. He then turns off most lights and heads to Alan's office, where he finds Alan talking to a woman. The killer arrives and shoots the office lock. Tom hides behind the door. The killer, familiar with Alan, kills the woman when she reveals a gun, takes her gun, and leaves, telling Alan to stay put. Alone, Tom asks Alan about the woman, who is from the Gambisi crime family, and was meant to testify against her husband. Alan suspects the killer was sent by the mafia. They hear the killer trying to break into the file room with an axe, but the door's reinforced and bulletproof. Alan and Tom attempt to escape, but must hide when the killer arrives with the janitor. The killer impersonates the janitor's voice, demanding Tom come out. Tom questions the killer about the janitor's nickname, realizing the janitor is dead. The killer turns the elevators back on, but the janitor's body has a note saying, "You win." Tom's phone rings, showing his own number calling. Alan thinks it's a trap and tries to flee, getting shot in the arm. Tom and Alan run as the killer chases and shoots at them. They hide in an office, but it's not reinforced, so the killer breaks in with an axe. By the time he catches up, they are already entering the file room. Tom tries to use the killer's phone to call for help, but it's locked with a password. The killer still has Tom's phone, which doesn't have a PIN, so Tom texts Anna, asking her to come. Desperate, Tom gets an idea and starts using the copy machine. At the entrance, the killer lets Anna in and threatens her with a gun, demanding her phone to destroy it. Tom arrives and offers to trade the keycard for Anna's safety, but the killer is not convinced until Alan arrives to handle the negotiation. Once the gun is dropped, Alan takes the keycard to the killer. The killer releases Anna. Alan tries to push the killer away to protect Anna, but the killer punches him and drags him to the file room. There, the killer accuses Alan of not clearing the office, revealing they were working together. The killer sets up explosives. Tom arrives with a gun but finds out the killer has all the bullets. Alan uses the distraction to escape, and the door closes, trapping the killer in the file room. The killer tries to use the keycard to escape, but Tom had given him a fake one made with the copy machine. The explosives go off, starting a fire on the file shelves. The killer tries to put out the flames, but fails. Tom eventually comes back inside. He throws away the gun and puts out the fire by pushing the shelves over. The killer wakes up and attacks Tom, leading to a fight. The killer quickly overpowers Tom, and Anna tries to help but is punched. Tom takes advantage of the distraction to punch the killer, and they both fall. Alan arrives and shoots the killer. As the killer dies, he whispers the numbers 11 to 22, and Tom takes the keycard from his pocket. Anna uses the keycard to activate the elevators, while Tom goes back to the desks and finds the case file. He discovers that the pharmaceutical company planned to destroy all evidence. Tom enters 11 to 22 on the killer's phone to unlock it, and finds Alan's phone number. It turns out Alan was paid by the pharmaceutical company to lose the case, hired the killer to destroy files, and to kill Roger. Alan claims corporations are more dangerous than the mafia and offers Tom a bribe, but Tom refuses and takes the file. Facing the threat of jail, Alan kills himself. The police arrive, so Tom and Anna quickly leave before being spotted. In the file room, the copy machine is printing countless copies of the case evidence. A police officer, who had previously left a gun for the killer, finds Tom's phone in the killer's hand and calls a hitman to eliminate Tom and silence him.
Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell icon, and stay connected with us.